guys, Giselle here, your favorite local Belizean realtor. Today we're gonna go into the top 10 things you must do when visiting Belize. Let's get into it. First of all, Belize can be split into island adventures as well as inland adventures or mainland adventures. We'll start first with all the activities that you can do when you're on the islands, such as Cocker or San Pedro, or maybe some of the islands down south, such as Mohoki. And then we'll get into what you can do on the mainland in the jungles of Belize. Number one is the iconic Great Blue Hole. The Blue Hole is 1,000 feet wide and about 400 feet deep. Fun fact, we had Richard Branson and Jacques Cousteau. I don't really know how you pronounce his name, but they both visited the Blue Hole via submarine. The Blue Hole is about 43 miles or 70 kilometers away from Cocker. This means that it takes approximately 2 hours to get to the Blue Hole one way and another 2 hours to get back. This is of course all weather dependent. And finally, to dive the Blue Hole, it costs anywhere from $250 US to $350 US depending on which company you're diving with. This is a must for all tourists and especially dive enthusiasts. Number two, if you are either on Cocker or San Pedro, I highly recommend that you book a full day Holchan tour. This tour is from 9:30 a.m. to about 3 p.m. depending on which tour company you go with, give or take half an hour. You will definitely have Holchan as a stop, which is a marine reserve. Holchan in Mayan means little channel. Here you'll see a variety of marine life such as corals and different types of fish. Your tour guide will explain all these things to you. You'll of course have a stop at Coral Gardens where you explore all different types of corals such as brain corals, fang corals. I'm not a tour guide, so I can't get too much into it, but you won't be disappointed. And of course, you have your stop with the sharks and stingrays. This is one of my favorite stops. The sharks are pretty docile, and then of course you'll see the stingrays and you get to swim right up to them. If you're lucky, you'll see a loggerhead turtle, maybe a few eagle rays, and maybe even a moray eel. All right, next, if you are on the islands, you have to visit Iguana Reef for sunset. This is one of the most iconic places to be in Belize for a sunset. You could not get a better view. It's naturally picturesque. So Iguana Reef is a hotel located on Cocker, Belize. It's on the west side, so it is on the sunset side. You get there like around 4:30 p.m. and then that's when the stingrays start arriving. Once the stingrays are there, you can actually walk into the water and they'll be swimming over your feet. And then you can sit down in the sand and just pet them. They're also pretty tame as well. As long as you don't do anything to frighten them, they're not gonna attack you. But you know, do it at your own risk. Once you're finished swimming with the stingrays, you can chill out on the hammocks that are inside the water or chill on the swings. You can make your way over to the bar and order my favorite, which is the coconut mojito. This is a must-do experience. You can thank me later for it. Next, if you feel like a full day Holchan tour is too much for you, then I highly recommend you do a half-day tour. Your half-day tour takes you directly out in front of the island on Cocker. I'm not sure if San Pedro offers a half-day tour, but Cocker definitely does. They would take you out directly in front of the island. Cocker has its own shark and ray alley, which is also a marine reserve. Here, the water is so shallow you can actually touch it, reaches you below your waist. I'm 5'6". The shark and ray alley in front of Cocker has a ton of stingrays versus the one in San Pedro, which you would end up at if you did the Holchan tour. They have a lot less stingrays, but it's still an amazing experience. The sharks tend to be a lot bigger there. Also, during the half-day tour in front of Cocker, you'll also make a stop at Coral Gardens, where you once again get to explore the various corals that we have here in Belize along the barrier reef. If you're lucky, you get to see manatees if it's mating season. I've seen them quite a few times. They're amazing creatures. And the cost of a half-day tour is about $50-$55 US per person, so it's still a pretty decent rate, and you get to see everything. Now it's time to get into the jungle activities. One of my favorite activities to do here in Belize is to explore the various caves we have. It also transports you to the Mayan underworld. Each cave is a completely different experience. One of my favorite cave tours is the ATM cave. This one is based out of San Ignacio. It's pretty tedious, so if you're a lot older or you have issues hiking or making your way through very tiny compartments, this cave is not for you. If you have an adventurous spirit and are pretty fit, I highly recommend you try this cave out. It's a lot of climbing. You're not gonna use a water tube. You're gonna have one headlamp and you're gonna make your way through the cave with a guide, of course. And once you get to the end of the guided tour, you will see the skeletal remains of a young Mayan girl who was sacrificed. It's wild. Another beautiful cave is Barton Creek. You rent a canoe and then you paddle your way to the cave. It's definitely one of the most beautiful entrances I've ever seen, and the water is nice, fresh. You can swim in it. You can go with a couple people on the canoes, and it's just a different experience getting to the cave. And then two popular cave tubing companies that I like as well are Caves Branch and Jaguar Paw. They both take you for about half an hour hike with your tubes to get to the cave. And once you're there, everyone sits down on their tube with their headlamps, and then you connect by hooking your feet under the person's tube that's in front of you. So you make like a little tube chain. It's so much fun. Then you go in and your tour guide starts explaining the caves to you. Sometimes you see rat bats. It's pitch black. It's scary, exciting, thrilling all at the same time. You're gonna see stalagmites. You're gonna see stalactites. You're gonna learn so much about the Mayan world, and I can't wait for you guys to have that experience. Another one of my favorite things to do here in Belize is rappelling. You have Bukawina, which offers rappelling down a waterfall. Such an amazing experience. It's pretty scary because when you're jumping off, like the rocks are pretty wet and slippery, as you might guess, since there's a waterfall there. But once you're on your way down, it's so much fun. And then the other rappelling excursion that we have here in Belize is with Caves Branch, where you hike up this hill or mountain, not sure what it is, and then you rappel from the top of the cliff straight into a cave where you then have lunch with everyone. Such an amazing experience as well. I did that tour when it was raining and I still had a great time. So if you're looking for something out of the ordinary, that's just a fun adventure, make sure you check out rappelling here in Belize, either with Bukawina or with Caves Branch. Next, we have ziplining in Belize. Definitely another amazing experience. We have a couple zip lines throughout the country. We have one of the longest zip lines in the country based in Bukawina, which is the same place where I told you you can rappel down the waterfalls, right? So if you ever get a chance, just book a few nights at Bukawina. It's totally worth it with all the adventures they have just within the resort itself. Next, you can do ziplining with Caves Branch. You can combine that with the cave tubing, or you can do it with Jaguar Paw, which also offers you the ability to have a cave tubing and ziplining combo. Definitely a must-do experience. Of course, you can't come to Belize and not visit a Mayan ruin. We have quite a few Mayan ruins scattered throughout the country. My personal favorite is Lamanai Mayan ruins. It is a bit of a trek to get there because it's based in Orange Walk, and the way you get there is by boat, which is super cool. You book a tour with Lamanai River Tours and you meet at the boat. They drive you through the river for about an hour and a half, and during this ride you're gonna spot crocodiles, you're gonna spot bats. In Belize we say rat bat. I don't know if like other people say that too, but you're gonna see rat bats. You're gonna see so many different types of birds. This is a bird lovers tour. And then once you get to the Mayan ruin, your tour guide will give you a history on the Mayans, and then he's also gonna educate you on the plants that you find throughout the compound. Don't forget, you're gonna spot the howler monkeys as well. If you hear them howling, it's usually because rain is coming or for other reasons, which I'm not sure about, but it's definitely an awesome thing to witness, especially when they get so close to you. It's a surreal experience. Yeah, another popular Mayan ruin is Sunantunich, which is located in San Ignacio. For this one, it's a lot more accessible. You don't need a tour guide. And same goes for Cajalpech, which is also based in San Ignacio. You can actually visit both Cajalpech Mayan ruins and Sunantunich in one day. One of the lesser spoken about excursions is hiking Victoria Peak. Victoria Peak is our tallest mountain here in Belize. It's a 3-day hiking tour. You do need to book a tour guide. This tour is not available during the rainy season for safety reasons, of course. I've never done it myself, but I've always wanted to do it. My dad has done it along with his siblings. I saw the videos. It was nuts. They would be crossing through rivers that have rapids. They would carry all their items on their backs. I do want to warn you that when you're hiking Victoria Peak, they have this thing called a botfly, which bites you, and then I think it's like the larvae stays inside your skin where it grows and then it turns into a fly and then it flies out. It's a bit nuts. And finally, not many people know about this, but you need to visit the inland blue hole along with St. Herman's Cave. The inland blue hole is a nice little sinkhole on the mainland, not too far out from the highway. It's just like a little 5-minute drive and then boom, you're there from the Western Highway. The water is refreshing. I think it's about $5 to go in there and swim. And within that reserve, you also have St. Herman's Cave, which is a cave that's self-guided, so it's easy peasy to get through, and it's just a fun detour for you to do. So if you are coming to Belize, these are my top 10 things that I would recommend to you. Don't miss out. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps my channel grow, and I am one of the few local YouTubers here on the island that's been trying to authentically promote Belize. So if you can please help me by engaging with my content, I truly appreciate it. See you guys in the next video.